Hi everyone, it's Ed from Runnable. What a glorious day today. At last we've got some decent weather in London, and I'm near my office in Chelsea, and I'm about to do a couple of laps of Battersea Park. Yeah, the weather's so nice, perfect for running, nice and cool and nice and sunny. And with that in mind, I've got one of my favourite shoes on today. I'll show you. The Primex Strung Originals. Great cushion, max cushion, great for bounding along effortlessly. Really nice spring and energy return, and just a fun shoe all round. I've had them a number of years now and they're still going strong. The Lightstrike Pro in this version of the Strung, and in the Strung 2 actually, really durable, really dense and durable, with a really nice energy return. Particularly this, you've got the carbon rods in this shoe that give you a nice spring off your toe. Such a massive stack, 50 millimeters in the heel. I think it's an 8mm drop, so you know, you've got 42 under the forefoot, which is pretty damn good. So more of a drop than on the version 2, which I think is around 6mm. So in that version you get even more stack under the forefoot where I land, but this is still great and nice and cushioned. And all in all, a really fun, crazy shoe, very unstable for those with ankle issues, those who have issues with your feet or ankle ligaments. You know, stay clear of this shoe. Any heel strikers, not a good shoe either. The heel's really weird on this shoe. I wouldn't like to be landing on my heel much in this. I used this in the Boston Marathon, and by the end I was landing back there a little bit, and I can vouch for the fact it isn't nice landing at the rear of this shoe. Anyway, that's all I want to say today. I need to get on with my run, and then I've got Teams calls and meetings actually with people in meeting rooms, actually not on Teams. So I quite like Thursdays because I get to like experience what work used to be like. So anyway, put in the comments if you want to hear more about the Primex. I'll try and find any links to see if it's available anywhere, if anyone's curious. Anyone who's tried it in the past, those that have never used it but want to know more about it, how it compares to the Primex 2, and generally what I would use this shoe for, put it all in the comments, and I'll endeavour, as you know, to answer you all. I'll see you later. Bye bye. So I'm here again in my lunch hour break, and I'm just crossing the bridge to Battersea Park, and it's a bit of a different day today than last time. If you caught my video last time in the Neo Zen, you'll know it was absolute horrendous weather, whereas today it's much nicer. The ducks will be happy today. Whether I will is another matter. Last time I did this run I got a bit of a hamstring strain, and today I'm doing it a little bit in my shin still, so I'm going to have to be very wary of that. So with that in mind, I'm wearing a max cushion super shoe today, and that is the Primex Strung, not 2, the original Primex Strung. Not to be confused by the Primex OG, all very confusing, right? But this one is I think called the Sunburst, and it's a lovely colour, sort of pinky, shaly, like pink sand, the way I describe it. But yeah, what a lovely day today, perfect for running. I'll be a very lucky man if it's like this on Sunday for my half marathon, which is in Victoria Park in East London, near Hackney Wick, if you know that area. So the Primex, let's go through a little bit about the shoe. So this came out a few years ago now, and when it came out, it immediately became my favourite shoe by a long way. But I did have some issues with this shoe. So the shoe is not stable by any means. So unless you're a 4-foot lander, this shoe can be very tricky, a tricky customer. Lots of people had some issues with this shoe. You can get used to it. There's a lot bigger landing pad in the 4-foot. So if you're a 4-foot lander, you get a nice spring off this solid Lightstrike Pro, which is lovely actually. Really nice bounce forward. It's a very bouncy shoe. The foam is quite firm but responsive. So you get that, you get compression, not too much, and a nice decompression, quick decompression. So you get a nice ping forward. Not that heavy a shoe either for what it's used for. So I think it's about 260 grams. You compare it with version 2, which is around 320. It's quite a lot lighter and bouncier, and that's why it got a bit of a cult following, this shoe. And again, why lots of people were up in arms about version 2 of the shoe. They were basically saying that they muted the Prime X, and I kind of understand why they were saying that, to be honest. You know, those that had used the Prime X Strung and went expecting something similar with the Prime X2, they got a completely different shoe. In my opinion, a really good shoe, Prime X2, but a different shoe. So I feel like a lot of the issues were caused by Adidas themselves calling it the Prime X2. They should have changed the name, because it isn't anywhere near the same shoe. It lost a lot of the bump factor, but it also lost a lot of the instability that you get with this shoe, that causes so many people issues. And so I'm in kind of two minds, to be honest. From a selfish point of view, because I'm a 4-foot lander, I kind of like the Prime X Strung because of how bouncy it is. It's a bit of a lighter shoe and just feels great just to keep cruising along in a kind of fun, bouncy way. It's a fun shoe, like the Cielo X1. But as a reviewer of shoes, and someone who's supposed to be thinking of other people, and the vast majority of people are heel strikers, this shoe is not very good for heel strikers. Downright unstable, to be honest. And so with that in mind, you know, as a reviewer with my reviewer hat on, I'm thinking the 2 is actually a better shoe because more people can use it. It's got a wider base, it's far more stable, generally a bit firmer shoe, but more muted bounce. The 2, if you land correctly on the 2, it's quite an aggressive shoe still, but it's not as wild a bounce. It bounces you forward in quite a predictable manner, whereas the Strung original, this shoe, it's like a stallion, you know, could get thrown off at any time, and I have been thrown off before. I've fallen in this shoe more than once. I've gone over on my ankle in this shoe more than once. And there's the track again. Surprised there's not more people on it today, actually. I don't think there's anyone on it. A bit of a surprise. But anyway, the point is, it's a really tricky shoe to master, the Prime X Strung, and you need to have really good mechanics, running mechanics and form to run well in the shoe, and strong ankles, because if you don't, you're going to go over on your ankle. So I'm somewhere in between. My ankles got a bit wrecked from playing football and rugby as a youngster, and so I've had to work really hard at building them up again in terms of strength. And in some ways I don't mind using this shoe because it forces me to look at that area and concentrate on that area in my strength and conditioning. If I wore just completely stable shoes all the time, they would make so many allowances for me that I wouldn't be strengthening those areas. It's a bit like inserts, right? Those of you that use custom inserts in your shoes, in your running shoes, because you're pronate or supinate or whatever, it fixes the problem in terms of allows you to run without pronating, but it doesn't strengthen the reason why, the issues why you do pronate in the first place. So you're actually kind of avoiding a thing. It's a bit like a plaster. You're using a plaster rather than letting the cut heal. And it's a big topic of conversation, I think, with a lot of physios these days, that used to be all about orthotics, making sure that, you know, that you didn't pronate, supinate, and now the school of thought is actually what we should be doing is chucking them away and strengthening our ankles and feet, so that on our arch and our foot, the muscles around there, so that we don't rely on orthotics. So I can see both sides. I mean, easier said than done in our busy lifestyles, but I see some logic in the latter about strength and conditioning, and not just concentrating on legs, back and core, but also on ankles and feet, which I don't think many of us do enough of. A bit like hips, we don't do enough hip work, you know, bridges and, you know, those kind of things. So yeah, so going back to the shoes, these shoes are really a difficult shoe when you first put them on, and you really have to be careful and concentrate on your foot strike. But the more you run in them, the more your feet, ankles and legs adjust to them, the easier it's going to get. It's those tricky early days of running in the Prime X that can cause you some difficulty, and that's what you get with fun bouncy shoes, right? It's the same with the Cielo X1. Those early days are the trickiest. Some people just give up. They think, I can't run in this. The bounce is too irregular, or I don't know how to use the shoe. And I get that. I mean, if you're having to change the way you run for a shoe, it's not ideal, but some shoes are worth it. And the Cielo and the Prime X come under those brackets of shoes that are worth adjusting for. Same with the Wave Rebellion Pros as well. I think they're again very effective shoe and worth adjusting for. But there aren't many like that, to be honest. Most of them, I feel, you know, if you have to put too much work into a shoe, they're not worth it. There's only a few of them that give you a lot of reward back if you persevere with them, like the Prime X. So I'm just ambling along here. It feels like I'm going really slow. And then I check my pace and it's got 450. And the way I'm running feels like I'm running 550. And so the energy return you get from this shoe is absolutely superb. And let you into a little secret, this still holds my 5k PB. So I ran 17:13 in Burgess Park running this shoe, right? And it still holds a record. Since then I've run in the Adidas Pro 4, I've run in the Edge and Sky Paris. I'm yet to take the Alpha Fly 3 actually over 5k. That'll have something to say about it, I think. I've taken both Puma shoes, the Fast Star and the Nitro Elite. I've taken the Cielo, Diodora, Gara Carbon, and none of them have beaten this time, which says a lot about this shoe, really. If you're prepared to put in the work and you're prepared to go hard in this shoe, it really does give you a lot back. And particularly where you're going round something like I'm doing now, Battersea, where it's flat and, you know, there aren't many issues with the surface and you're running in straight lines a lot. This shoe's absolutely rapid. But like I said, you've got to be in good form, you've got to watch your foot strike, and that's what puts many people off using this as a marathon shoe. I used it in Boston. I have to say, the 20 miles it was brilliant, and then the last 6 miles was hard work in this shoe. As my form started to go a bit and I started to go back a bit on the shoe, mid-foot and heel strike, it became more and more unstable, just at the point you don't want it to be when you're tiring. So it's not a perfect shoe, is what I'm saying. I don't really think a perfect shoe exists yet, but it's a damn good shoe when you're on form and you're ready to let rip and you feel like today's your day. You stick this on for a 5-10k, even half marathon, and just go for it. It can reward you in such an amazing way that yeah, you won't believe how fast you can go in this shoe. I still think you can get it as well, right? For those of you that are curious, I'll see if I can find any links to it and I'll put it in the description, because if you're a 4-foot striker and you've never tried this shoe, you're missing out. You really are. Those of you that are new to running in the last year or so, you may well have never even heard of it. So you may have only heard of the second version, which I said is very different. So that's kind of all I want to say today. Let's end it looking at the lovely Thames. Beautiful today. Chelsea across the water there. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed a little low down on the Prime X. And like I said, up there with the Cielo, it's one of my favourite shoes of all time. And those that follow my channel know that I don't say that lightly. I'll see you later. Bye bye. Okay, so not quite finished yet. I want to talk a little bit about marathon training week 4. So today is my double run day. So I'm doing this one and then hopefully an evening run with the club. Although I keep failing on that based on family logistics. But just as a general kind of roll around week 4, for those of you that are marathon training, you should start to see kind of little changes now. If you're week 4, maybe week 5, maybe even week 6, depending on when your marathon is, you start to see changes. You should be getting some weight loss. I'm definitely seeing that. Seeing my abs again, which well, they went away for the winter, and I'm starting to see them again, which is good. I've dropped about a kg from over Christmas to now, so I'm gone from 64 kg to 43, and you do start to feel a little bit fatigued, so don't be worried by that. It's just that week 4, week 5, your body has been taking on a lot of mileage, and you start to feel a little bit of fatigue in those legs. They get a bit heavy, and what you might want to do around this point is have what I call a down week, where you do less mileage, particularly those of you that are on week 5 or 6. Maybe cut their mileage for 1 week and then go again. It's not going to cause you any harm whatsoever. Oh, and it'll ensure you stay fit and uninjured, because around this point last year is when I got injured, and I got an ankle injury, funnily enough, running in this shoe, Prime X. But I didn't blame it on the shoe. I was overworking myself, really, too much mileage, and I didn't have a down week, and I paid the price, and I was injured all the way up until basically late March, and I only had 5 weeks to train for London in the end, and I still got through it. So you can, no matter what hits you, you can get through these things. All right, let's go across. So just as a rule of thumb, it's around now that your legs might be feeling a bit fatigued, and so give them a little break, have a down week where you cut the mileage by about 10 miles, and they'll thank you for that. Your legs will thank you, they really will. Oh, what we got here? Spotted a blue plaque. Maybe half of me. You can see it just through at the top there. There we go. Right, another one for me to zoom in on. Dante, Gabriel, Rosseti, 1828 to 1882. Okay, 60-year-old before he died. There's someone else there, but I think that'll do for now. I'll give you the history lowdown on Mr. Gabriel, not the singer Gabriel. I don't want to go down that route again, like the disaster last week with Damon Albarn. So anyway, another history lesson incoming, but that's definitely all I want to say today. I hope you found all this interesting. Please put in the comments how your marathon training is going, or any training, you know, half marathon, 10k, 5k. And also, if you're curious about the Prime X Strung Originals, or if you've used them, what you think of them. Do you like them as much as I did, or were they just too unstable? Did the stallion throw you from its back? Let me know. With that, I'll see you later. Bye bye. And this is bye bye.